What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chicago Bulls and Oklahoma City Thunder game reaction where the Chicago Bulls nearly suffered deja vu 3 years in a row as we almost gave up a big lead to the OKC Thunder. Nevertheless, this time around, things managed to be a little bit different as the Chicago Bulls held off a very strong, not giving up Oklahoma City side, and we do have a lot to get through, both positively and negatively in this video. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the game today for the Chicago Bulls. Who was your player of the game? Your overall thoughts and opinions on a win against the Oklahoma City Thunder away from home on a second night of a back-to-back. OKC might not be the strongest team out there, ladies and gentlemen, but off a second night traveling from east to west, it's a big win for the Chicago Bulls no matter how you put it, and I thought the effort was definitely there in this game. We won this game only by 1 point, ladies and gentlemen, in 111 to 110 effort. We were up by around 20 points in this game, or a little bit below that, and it was a big comeback from the OKC Thunder. They made things very difficult. They definitely put our hearts in our mouths type moment once again, and if the OKC Thunder did complete the comeback, you would have seen another rant video from me, ladies and gentlemen. No questions about it, because we should and we did win this game. We had the game under our control. We let it slip away, but we managed to get the win at the end of the day, and that's what I'm grateful for at the end of the day. A win is a win, ladies and gentlemen. I can't be the type of guy that's very selective on how we win, how we should be winning and all of that, because at the end of the day, we've lost 7 out of our 9 games coming into this. We just needed a win regardless of how it ended up happening. So that's what I'm really happy about. But we do need to talk about some of the negatives of this game. But we'll get into the positives first. It is great to see Zach and Javonte Green return to the Chicago Bulls today. Both of them played really solid minutes in today's game. Javonte Green only had 24 minutes. He was on a minutes restriction. Zach around 35, the normal for Zach. And obviously those two had really big important impacts in the game. We'll get to Zach negative side a little bit later on, but overall, having those two guys back, with DeMar that should be back against the Toronto Raptors. He obviously missed this game for rest issues. He wanted to get some rest, and the Bulls wanted him to get some rest. Perfect sense. He's been playing very hard recently, and a day's break is not a bad thing whatsoever for DeMar, and we didn't need him in this game. At the end of the day, we walked away with the win. But those two are really important players. Those two bring something to this team that we simply do not have. Zach another scoring option to pair up with DeMar Obviously, Javonte Green, the energy and the defensive presence as a starter is really important for the Chicago Bulls as well. Those two were massive towards this game. I'm really happy that they both returned together. Obviously, the big positive is Nikola Vucevic in today's game as well. Had an amazingly strong game from him in this game. And again, it's a beautiful sight to see when he is battling out in the post and all of that. I thought our assist numbers were really high today in total. I thought getting back on defense was really important as well for the Chicago Bulls today. Something that we didn't normally see throughout the course of these stretches of games that we love to see is the transition play, and we saw that a lot in today's game as well. Zach pass to Troy Brown Jr. comes to mind for an easy slam. The transition game is very important as well. But the negatives of this game, what happened in that fourth quarter? I need to know. It's because at the end of the day, all things considered, we won the game, and I'll take the win any day of the week. But we let go in the fourth quarter. We forgot all of the positive things that we saw in the first 3 quarters of the game. We were a very team-oriented team today. We moved the ball. Assist numbers were high. Everything was really positive in that area. The fourth quarter, no one passed the ball. No one really moved. We forgot how to pass the ball. We forgot the shot selection that we were supposed to take. We forgot to use Vucevic in the post. Everything that could have went wrong in the fourth quarter went wrong for the Chicago Bulls. I think Io got fouled out as well. Just a really, really, really bad fourth quarter. And look, whatever you guys think, it is something that needs to be discussed. It is what it is. You can't always fly away with the positives when you win the game and forget the negatives. That's a very important negative to the Chicago Bulls team. Because what happens if we verse a team that is much more better as a caliber of a team, and we have a 15 and 20 point lead. What happens if we give up like that, or we just forget the basic concepts of how we were ending up winning the game in total? Other teams will take advantage of that. We were lucky that OKC, even though they almost won this game, that they were not good enough to secure that comeback. Other teams will be good enough to secure that comeback. So we have to be very careful in how we play in those fourth quarters, and especially how we manage to play differently from quarter to quarter. That was an extremely poor quarter from the Chicago Bulls, and it resulted in the OKC Thunder climbing back, pushing their way into the Chicago Bulls, trying to get traps, trying to get turnovers, and it works for them. So we do have a lot to work on, and I hope that's not a repeat performance in any other game. Let's just wait and see. But that collapse was almost heartbreaking for the Chicago Bulls, but thankfully the win ended up making that not a heartbreaking moment. Let's talk about the individual performances, starting off with Nikola Vucevic. He had 26 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. When he's active offensively, he is active defensively. He was 4 from 7 from the 3-point line. A couple of his last shots of the game were Hail Marys pretty much, because they just chucked the ball in his hands in the final seconds. Overall, 10 from 19, or 10 from 18, I should say. Very positive game from Nikola Vucevic, but I think I know more now just to say we need to see this from him every night for the Chicago Bulls. And I'm not talking about 26 points. I'm not talking even about 15 rebounds. I'm just talking about the efficiency at this point in time. At the end of the day, I've said for a while now, we need to see consistently better efficiency from Nikola Vucevic. I know better now to say that we need better efficiency, because at the end of the day, he has shown throughout the course of the season he's a very up and down player, and this might not be a good representation of what he could be in the next game. He could end up having a much worse game against the Toronto Raptors, and until he can prove to me and a lot of Bulls fans that he could be an efficient scorer for the Chicago Bulls on a consistent basis, then I'm gonna not expect to see a game like this against the Toronto Raptors, and the game after that, and the game after that. He has to prove it to me. He has to prove it to the rest of the Bulls team now. It's been too long and too much of an inconsistent season for him for me to be extremely positive about a performance like this and what it could mean for the future. It's a great game overall. We really needed Vucevic to have a game like this in the end, and he delivered today. But what is he going to deliver against the Toronto Raptors? It's not about the talking anymore. It's not about the slumps anymore. It's not about he can be this, he can be that. It's now time for him to show it consistently. And until he can do that, I don't expect a lot out of him in the next game against the Toronto Raptors. It's just the way that it is. He has to prove me wrong. Zach LaVine had 23 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block in today's game. The first 3 quarters for Zach LaVine, I'll give it to him. He was really, really good. He was not always scoring. Again, his scoring numbers in terms of efficiency was not there from the beginning of the game. He was a little bit inefficient in terms of his scoring, but his playmaking, his rebounding, his defense was all very good things in the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, Zach LaVine completely went against everything that he kind of did earlier on in the game. He went for isolation, really tough competitive shots, turnovers, everything. He got trapped as well. Things like that for Zach LaVine are why people get so frustrated with him at times, because he takes unnecessary shots. He ends up trying to do too much. Again, it's his first game back. He shouldn't be trying to do too much to try and get a win for the Chicago Bulls. It should be in the team system. We should be playing a team system. We should be allowing things to come naturally to Zach LaVine rather than him forcing it up every single game. And that's something that he does need to work on. And again, he's an all-star. We know he can do it. We know he can carry a Chicago Bulls team to a win. But today, when things are not falling, we shouldn't be expecting him to force it up, trying to get something to happen, because that's how we can lose games like this against the OKC Thunder. But we won the game. Zach LaVine's return. It's his first game back. I'm not going to put the world of pressure on him, but that's the weakness that I saw in Zach LaVine's game today, and I thought I should mention it for you guys. Ayo Dosunmu, ladies and gentlemen, had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 block in today's game. 10 from 14 from the field, 4 from 6 from the 3-point line. Made a half-court buzzer beater, ladies and gentlemen, in today's game. By far his best performance as a starter for the Chicago Bulls. Season high in points. Didn't miss a shot until the 3rd quarter. unbelievable how good he was in today's game. The only negative I have towards his game is that he got fouled out, I believe, or he wasn't really in the game in the fourth quarter because of those fouls. So regardless of that, again, that's one small negative to a really big positive game for Ayo Dosunmu. He finally decided to be a little bit more aggressive and take things into his own hands. Again, learning from DeMar DeRozan, taking massive shots in the mid-range, going to the corner and making those shots. That's where his best shot is at the end of the day. Just an overall great player, great decision-making, 8 assists in today's game as well. This is what a star-level point guard, that's a stat line that a star-level point guard every single day of the week would be very happy with. To get a 24 and 8 night on great shooting and extremely positive defense as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a great player for the OKC Thunder. Probably their best, definitely their best. And he did have a great game, to be fair, Alexander, but I thought Ayo did a great job on him as well, and that is what a good defensive player could do. He can slow players down. He might not stop them, but he slows them down, and he definitely did that in my eyes. Troy Brown Jr. had 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. I really did like Troy Brown Jr.'s game today. I thought some of his shots did fall very well. Again, he had a nice 3-point shot that got a shooter's roll, and it went in, and that was a really well-needed 3 for us. His effort on the glass was really good in my opinion. He was trying to make a lot of hustle plays, and that's what he should be doing if he is starting. Again, he took the place of DeMar DeRozan in today's game. We didn't see a DeMar DeRozan-esque game from Troy Brown Jr., but we saw a lot of effort, we saw a lot of hustle plays, we saw some good shots fall in. I don't like when he's running out in transition and he's not really looking to try and find someone. He always goes up for the shot. And I think the scouting report honestly knows that. Troy Brown Jr. likes to go for his own shots. He likes to attack the paint a lot. And in this game, it did not reflect well in terms of his shooting efficiency. Only 4 from 9 from the field today in total. And a really nasty block on him at the end of the day as well. So it's not the end of the world. I would like for him to, of course, if he's going to keep on taking those shots, try to see if he can get more contact. That's the only thing I can really say. But it was a good game from Troy Brown Jr., and I don't want to take anything away from his performance today. Javonte Green, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block. A mean dunk in today's game, and that's exactly what we missed from Javonte Green. Someone that can cut into the paint, fly and like almost glide into the paint, get some dunks, get some easy layups, and be a defensive nuisance on the court. He's another player that had a good responsibility on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander today, and he was absolutely splendid in this game as well. He's one of those guys where the stats might not always show what he could do for a Chicago Bulls team, but when you see him play, you watch what he can do. He is a very important player to this team, and he has not missed a step from what I saw in today's game. I can't wait to see him get more minutes than 24, because we all know he has the capabilities of playing in the 30-minute range. But he was great today, and again, I'm really happy that he's back for the Chicago Bulls, and I think without him, we probably don't win this game. So thank you to Javonte Green. Moving into the bench, ladies and gentlemen, Coby White had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists with a block in today's game. The scoring was really poor from Coby White in total, 3 for 14 from the field. I do like that he is using the mid-range game a little bit more. I do like that he is still taking open threes. I like that he's still aggressive in the game, even when his shots not falling. And I do like his decision making with 7 assists in today's game as well. I thought his decision making for the most part was very good. There were a few instances when you're thinking to yourself, that's a poor shot selection. He kind of put himself in a tough situation there. Maybe he shouldn't have done that. But outside of those small parts of the game, Coby White in total was not really bad today in my opinion. Again, we need Coby White for his scoring, and in that area he struggled. We can't deny that. 21% from the field, 14% from 3. He struggled scoring today. He got to the foul line twice, made both free throws, but in other areas he did play very well, and that's what we need to focus on. We need to find the positives in these performances so we can get that confidence back up with Coby White so he can become an efficient scorer once again. The last few games, maybe 2-3 games, he hasn't been at his best. Let's see if we can continue to see Coby White at his best in the next game against the Toronto Raptors. Malcolm Hill had 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Played 17 minutes today, something I didn't expect, but obviously when you see players like Alfonso McKinney get 4 fouls within the first quarter, Malcolm Hill comes in, he makes a good impact as well. He makes a couple of shots, he runs out in transition, he plays some good defense. The type of guy that he is. He's not going to be a guy that excites you and wows you with his terrific play, terrific shot-making ability. He can make the open ones, but He is someone that will work very hard for you, and he will run out in transition. And in that area, he does fit the Chicago Bulls. So he played a good game today. Alfonso McKinnie had 2 points and 4 rebounds. Again, he got 4 fouls in the first quarter. Again, I'm not really liking Alfonso McKinnie's performances in recent games, and this is just another one to add to the tally. I think he could do a lot better than what we're seeing in today's game. I think he needs to learn a little bit of discipline. Those 4 fouls were really unnecessary, and at the end of the day, it cost him playing time, and that's something that we've seen too often with Alfonso McKinnie. He has to perform better. And Tyler Cook had a 5-5 night in today's game. He did get hurt, got elbows in the eye, and did not return in today's game. Let's hope this is nothing serious, but just the way that the season has gone so far, you can only expect the worst. And maybe this is another game where Tyler Cook just doesn't return. He didn't return to the game. Maybe he's out for a week or two. I don't know. Maybe it's worse. I really can't tell you, but I just don't want to see any more injuries. It's killing me how much injuries that we have, because all you want to see is the best team out there. You want to see the best Chicago Bulls team possible to come and perform for the fans, perform for your team, perform for the playoffs, everything in that nature. And we're just currently getting hit with so many injuries. And again, it is killing me. It's eating me alive to see how many injuries that we have on this team. Matt Thomas has 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. A decent game for Matt Thomas. He missed the free throw. He got a 4-point play. That was the biggest part of the game, but he missed the free throw. Wasn't really efficient in today's game, but I like Matt Thomas when he does step up and he does make some shots. The 2 shots that he took from half court, pretty much, I don't like that, because I don't care who you are, unless you're Steph Curry, you shouldn't be taking those shots. But when he is in rhythm, when he is within shooting distance, he is a good player to have on your team when he's knocking down those shots. And in the past few games, he has been knocking down those shots. So I've enjoyed his game for the Chicago Bulls. Looking at the must improve, I am going to pick Alfonso McKinnie. I'm sorry. I know there might have been more. I mean, you could pick Kobe White because he had a bigger part in the game to play. But I don't like when players come in, use all their fouls within the first quarter, and then ends up not playing for the rest of the game. It takes him out of the game, and we could have used his offense. He's in the G League. He shot 40% from 3. We could have used that in today's game. Yet he does the things that he's been doing for the past few games. He fouls way too much, and he doesn't put himself in an opportunity to play more than those 10 minutes that he played today. He is my must improve. If you have to give it to a more meaningful player in the game, I would pick Kobe White for his lack of scoring. But outside of that, I am picking Alfonso McKinnie. He is my must improve. My player of the game goes to 2 players today, ladies and gentlemen. First off, Ayo Dosunmu was unbelievable in today's game, and I think without him, I don't know where we would be. His defense was unbelievable. His offense was truly mesmerizing as well. The mid-range game, taking shots that I didn't expect Ayo to take, yet there he is, ladies and gentlemen, taking them, and making it look very easy as well. He's truly learning from DeMar in that area, because again, no one expected him to take those shots. Clearly, the OKC Thunder defense did not expect those shots from Ayo Dosunmu, and he made them pay today. And his decision-making on the floor was great as well. Nikola Vucevic is my second guy because, again, you're not going to see many games like this from Big Vooch. He had a 26-15 night with 4 assists, 3 blocks as well. If I didn't give it to Vooch today, there might be an opportunity. There might not be another opportunity where I could give it to Nikola Vucevic. It's one of those instances, and he was a great player today. And I think at the end of the day, you got to reward the big fella for having a good game, and it's a game that we sorely needed with his efficiency, his scoring, his rebounding, and even his defense. Everything was really on par today. Again, it came at the OKC Thunder side. OKC don't have a really big center that could really stop Vucevic, so it made it very easy for him. But for Vucevic, it's about doing it consistently. That's all I want from Big Vooch, and I don't trust him to do it. That's just how I feel inside. I don't trust him to be consistent. But again, we'll just have to wait and see if he can prove me wrong. The Bulls' record is 29-17. We finally get a victory, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we move our way back to second in the Eastern Conference. That is great to see. And we just got to keep on fighting. We've got Zach LaVine and DeMar back for the next game. That's going to be an amazing sight to see. Finally, 2 elite scorers playing together again. It's going to be good for the Chicago Bulls. And again, when we don't have that defensive energy that we had today, some games it's not going to be there. When you have 2 elite scorers like that, you give yourself a chance to win. Our next game, as I've said a number of times now, the Toronto Raptors, probably the toughest test we're going to have this week, because the next game after that is going to be against the Spurs. Spurs are an up and down team as well. But Toronto at the United Center, it's going to be a good game in my opinion, a tough game, a gritty game, and these two have made close efforts before. So this is a game that was cancelled, I believe, or postponed, moved into this day. Let's just see if the Chicago Bulls can walk away with a win. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.